Hi everyone, it's Mari here for Honeybee Stamps. I'm going to be creating this very traditional looking Christmas card that you can see on the screen. I'm going to be using the gorgeous holly border stencils and coordinating dies to create the different pieces and elements for my project. The stencil set is a two-piece stencil set, and then you can see the two-piece die set that coordinates nicely with that stencil set. And I'm going to start off here with my A2 size card panel on my Alta New grip mat, and I'm just going ahead and taking a blending brush for the first layer of this holly border stencil, and I'm adding some mowed lawn distress oxide ink through that stencil. Now I am going to line up the second layer with that first layer, and I'm going to go over top of it with some evergreen bough. And what you'll notice here is that on this stencil, there's several different layers on this one stencil. So you just have to move the stencil up for the next layer. So it's really nice. You can get several different layers of your stenciling in from one stencil. So once I'm done with that evergreen bough in that second layer, now I think this is pine needle if I'm not mistaken, but I will make sure to link up in the description box below to all of the different colors of oxide inks that I'm going to use here. And for this one, I'm just going in with that on that same layer, and I'm just adding a little bit of darker over top of that evergreen bough. Now I have the next layer over top of the first two layers I've already stenciled, and I'm going to go in with some kitsch flamingo to do the first layer for the holly berries. And once I'm done with that kitsch flamingo, I'm not going to switch stencils. I'm actually just going to switch ink, and I'm going to layer a little bit of, I believe this is festive berries, over top. And if you can see that the writing on that, on the ink pad top, I believe it does say festive berries, but you guys can probably see that on the video better than I can as I'm doing this voiceover. But I just used a darker kind of a red color over that pink just to create a little bit of a layer and a little bit of depth and dimension in that way. Now I'm adding the next layered stencil over top, and this just creates a little spot on each one of the berries. And so for this, I'm going in with lumberjack plaid, which is a really true Christmas red. I love that color. And now I'm going to add the veining in onto the leaves with this stencil here. And now I'll just do the peel reveal, and you can just see how really pretty that is. And so I've done two different layers, and I'm going to put one at the top and the bottom. Now I'm also going to be using this 3D embossing folder here called Snowy Pines. It's beautiful. If you haven't used this one yet or you haven't seen it yet, it is gorgeous. It is one of my favorite all-time embossing folders. It is beautiful. And it just provides this really nice background for these two border layers that I have. And I'm going to coordinate those with some dies from the Lovely Layers Candy Cane die set. So in the Lovely Layers Candy Cane die set, there's some really beautiful holly leaves and some pine branches and some holly berries. And that coordinates perfectly with my holly border stencils die cut pieces. Now I'm using some pouncers, some picket fence pouncers, to add on some ink onto these different die cut pieces. So I die cut these pieces from white, obviously, and I just wanted to add coordinating colors that I've already used on my stenciling. So I started off there with mowed lawn, and now I think I'm going in with pine needles around the edges just to create a little bit of kind of like faux shading. I'll use the evergreen bough and the pine needles on the pine boughs. And I'm just going to finish up with that here. I'm just using that same pouncer to go in with all of the different greens. I'm not worried about having kind of like a different green pouncer for every color of green ink. I've just got a green pouncer that's dedicated to green, and specifically I have a set of pouncers that are just for my oxide inks, but I really love these for pouncing on color. You don't use them like a typical blending brush. They're meant to literally just be pounced, and they're really great for adding colors in this way. They're also really great for pouncing color through a stencil. So I've got my festive berries on there now on the berries. Now I'm just adding a clear shimmer spritz in my splat box to those border pieces, and they just are really pretty and shimmery. So I just kind of love that sort of muted appearance of those pieces. I think they look really pretty. Of course, if you wanted something more vibrant, you could definitely use your distress inks and you would get more of a vibrant look there. Now I'm going to take my honeybee liquid adhesive and add that to the back of that panel that is embossed. And I'm going to pop up the 2 holly border stencil die cut pieces onto some foam adhesive, and so that'll add just a little bit of dimension in that way. I'm going to add a little bit of liquid adhesive over top of the foam just to give me that opportunity to wiggle these into place. And now I've got those 2 added to the top and the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and take my other die cut pieces just to add the rest of the texture. So I'm just taking the 2 little pine boughs there and adding them in those areas I'm showing you there. Just added a little bit of liquid adhesive to the tops and then tucked them underneath the holly border stencil die cut piece there at the top. And then I'll add a little bit of dimensional foam adhesive just to the tip of that center leaf of that hollyberry branch. And I'll do the same thing with the second hollyberry branch that I'm going to add over to the right of this first one here. I love that hollyberry and holly leaf die from the candy cane set. It's so good. It has just really great embossed lines in it. It's just fantastic. Now I've die cut out the 2 little berries, obviously, because you saw me add the ink to those. So I'm going to go ahead and add some foam to the back of those and pop them up as well to give them a little bit of dimension. And that is going to finish off that dimensional textured area up at the top. Now I am going to create a sentiment for my project using the Let It Snow stamp and coordinating die set. This is such a great set. Not only are the snowflakes beautiful, but these sentiments are just absolutely darling. They're so pretty. And so I'm going to go ahead and stamp out one of those sentiments. It's the Season to Sparkle in black ink. And then I've used the coordinating die to go ahead and die cut that out. I'm going to place that down with some foam adhesive in that area where you saw that. And now I'm going to take this medium here to do a little bit of white splatter on my project. So I'm just going to put a little bit out here on my desk. This is a product called Bleed Proof. It will layer on top of your inks, which is really nice. So I've just put that on my desk and I've added a little tiny bit. I don't want too much water added to it, but I've added just enough so that it will splatter. So I'm going to splatter on my entire piece here just to create that little bit of faux snow look. Now I'm going to use my Holiday Wishes gem stickers from Honeybee and add a little bit of bling. And I'm going to use the green gem stickers from this set. They're so pretty. I'm going to use the light green. There's actually a darker kind of an iridescent, I don't know if that's the right term, but they kind of shimmer and shine with different colors, even though they're green. So these gems are a must. I could have 1,000 packs of these and it wouldn't be enough. They're so pretty. And I'm just going to put, I think 5. I'll put 3 kind of up in that top right area, and then I'll put 2 down in the lower area to the left. And that's just going to add a little bit of extra sparkle and shine because it is the season to sparkle. So I really like how this card turned out. I think it's really super pretty. I like that shimmer spritz at the top and the bottom and then those gems, and just makes it really shiny and sparkly. Friends, I have linked up in the description box to the products that I've used today for my project. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have the most wonderful holiday season, and I will see you again soon. Bye-bye.